Surrey Council's Cabinet Member for Transport, Infrastructure and Growth. Great to have you on the show. Thank you very, very much. Why are you opposed to this?
So we're mainly opposed because Sadiq hasn't provided any mitigation for Surrey residents. So effectively, Surrey residents will be paying a tax in order to go about their daily business, whether it's education, medical appointments or work, to cross the border into London, but see none of the benefits. So we've been really pushing for an extension of the scrappage scheme, improved bus and train offer, as well as exemptions for sort of key workers, as well as people who are attending hospital or medical appointments across the border. To date, we've had no contact from the Mayor's office, but better late than never, TfL have offered us a meeting in 2 weeks' time.
OK, all right, but this is also about an expansion, isn't it, really? And it's gone from being people right in a city centre where the roads weren't necessarily designed for the level of human population that we have now and the level of traffic. You can just about see a justification there to an extent. But we're talking about very leafy suburbs here where if you essentially took your car off the driveway and maybe drove it a few miles, you would end up being charged £12.50 a day, which is surprising to say the least, isn't it? And I think that's what it's about for me, because other areas now, people living, say, just outside Greater Manchester, for example, or again outside Birmingham, Liverpool, take your pick, will think, well, this won't affect me. Well, it could actually, couldn't it?
Absolutely, yes. And that's actually why we've joined in with the other London boroughs in order to challenge this. We do know that the Mayor of London has underestimated the number of people that will be affected by this with their non-compliant cars. Heathrow, for example, did an analysis of their own employees and found 10,000 had non-compliant cars. So it is going to affect a lot of people, and that's why we did join in with this action. And today it was a very technical start to the hearing, but it was a very useful one, and the judge was asking some very clear points to our council and the Mayor's council as well.
OK, but look, what has the public reaction been like to expanding ULEZ? You read mixed reports on this, and I've got some in front of me now. Nearly twice as many Londoners support the expansion of ULEZ as don't. But then I read some other ones that go, well, this survey was, he'd already bought the cameras for it or something like that before he'd actually consulted anyone. So basically they'd already decided that they were going to do it anyway before they actually asked people whether or not they thought it was a good idea. I mean, what has Sadiq Khan's reaction been like to the public when it comes to whether or not they want this stuff?
Well, I think you can see the clear reaction when the London Assembly holds him to task. All I can say is from the Surrey side, there has been great concern from the residents about how this is going to affect their day-to-day lives. And that sort of communication, that lack of mitigation has just not come across. As I said, we have got a meeting coming up with TfL, but what I really say is it's only because we've joined in with the other London boroughs to take this to court that we're actually getting that level of cooperation now. Before then, we had absolutely no communication to any of our letters or consultation responses.
Right, OK, I'm just reading another headline here, that TfL's claim that 9 in 10 drivers would be unaffected, which is the kind of claim you make if you want to win public support for something that you know is going to be deeply controversial. Well, it turns out that apparently, allegedly, that's just completely unsubstantiated, which is something I think you were alluding to there. So whether or not that was kind of based on lies. But you must be hearing from people, real people in the real world, who's are facing financial ruin as a result of, you know, yet another example of this kind of ridiculous big net zero, big green agenda that, again, targets and hits ordinary people in the pocket. I mean, you must be hearing from people who are terrified of this coming in.
Absolutely, yes. I mean, the majority of the correspondence that we do get from residents within Surrey is a real concern about how they are going to go about their day-to-day living. How are they going to cross the border to get their kids to school? How are they going to get across to do work as well? So, I mean, it is a real concern, and that's why we've been fighting for that extra mitigation to come across. And if the court case does not go in our favour and ULEZ does expand, we'll still be arguing for that mitigation. The difference is the Mayor's office actually has to work with Surrey County Council if they want to get any advanced lineage up. We've said no to this date. We're not going to work until they put together that mitigation for Surrey residents. So at the end of the day, the door is open. They need to work, but we're not supporting it as it currently stands.
I find it remarkable as well. Look, a lot of inner city mayors or council leaders, etc., are Labour. It's supposed to be, the working class party and all of this stuff. It is, of course, working class people who, as always, will suffer the most as a result of this. And I've seen some footage which would appear to indicate that Sadiq Khan is trying to demonise some people as well who don't agree with this stuff. I mean, yet again, he's wheeling out things. Oh, well, if you don't back ULEZ and you don't back the ultra-low emissions zone, you must be a member of the far right. I mean, it's just bonkers, isn't it?
Well, I'm not going to go into what the Mayor of London is saying. I mean, at the end of the day, our responsibility is to residents of Surrey. We've joined in this action with the other London boroughs, and it's very clear that we've got a strong case. We've been allowed 3 out of the 5 actions from the courts to hear this on, and that's what we're going through now. So we've got 2 days. We are putting up our best fight to make sure that the residents outside of London actually get their say, and we are standing up for the residents of Surrey as the County Council.
Look, good stuff. Thank you very much for coming on. Councillor Matt Furniss, Surrey Council's Cabinet Member for Transport, Infrastructure and Growth. Just again, I want to emphasise, look, there was a lot of chat about London there. That's just literally because this is where this is happening. And like a lot of things might start in London and then work their way up to the rest of the country. I know the people of Birmingham are very concerned about this, for example. A lot of people in Greater Manchester have already started getting letters telling them that something like this might happen. I think it's a slippery slope. Because the second that they start to expand an area, then they expand it again, then they expand it again. And before you know it, you're taking your car off your driveway and it's costing you £12.50 every single day. Anyway, between now and 4 p.m, did Sir Keir Starmer lie about his